So in this video I wanted to talk about music. I wanted to talk specifically about music that you are and you're not allowed to use in your videos, your social media clips and your podcasts. So if that sounds good, let's get stuck in. So my name's James, welcome to this channel. I like producing content, talking about podcasting, audience growth and all that good stuff. I'm founder of radio.co, podcast.co and matchmaker.fm, all doing really interesting things in the audio and podcasting spaces, so please go check them out. I'll put links below. Today's video, however, is about music. Music I love, however, you have to be really, really careful when it comes to copyright and using music on the internet. So particularly if you're creating videos like this one, you'll notice I probably have some music in the background right now. I might have had like some intro music, but where does that music come from? How can you make a video or record a podcast with audio in the background, with music in the background that isn't going to get removed? You're not going to get any kind of copyright strikes, or even worse, end up getting sued by someone. At the end of this video, I want to share with you 2 albums of music that we produced here. Our in-house team have created them. They're really high quality production tracks that you can use in your podcast, you can use them in your videos, absolutely free. So make sure you watch the end to get access to that today. So let's start off with the big no, which is what you consider like pop music or commercial music, rock music, stuff that you hear on the radio, stuff that you might stream on Spotify or download on iTunes. If you play anything that has a copyright attached, e.g. modern commercial music, or even older commercial music, you generally need to pay royalties for the privilege of using this in a broadcast. And even if you're creating a video for the internet like this one, or you're recording a podcast, it's kind of considered the same as making a TV show or recording a radio show or broadcasting live. So you have to be very, very careful if you're going to be using commercial music. Now you can get licenses to do it. They quite often are very expensive and it's quite a complicated process to get licensed. So what I wanted to do today is give you 3 options for music that you can use and not have to worry so much about the legalities, or kind of not worry get sued, or not worry getting a strike against your channel or anything like that. So let's start off with the first one, Creative Commons. So with Creative Commons, most music allows you to use the music wherever you like, and quite often you can use it for commercial reasons too, and all you have to do is credit the original author or producer. There are loads of websites that have lists and can allow you to download music that has Creative Commons license attached. So we'll go over a few of these now. So let's start with Creative Commons sites. Firstly, Audionatics. Audionatics has quite a few background tracks that are free to use with credit. All music on the site is produced by Jason Shaw, and his catalogue is a bit limited, but there are plenty of great tracks on there for you to use on your podcast. Number 2, Incompetech. Incompetech offers a huge library of free to use music created by composer Kevin MacLeod. He produces most of his music for films and documentaries, so if you're producing a fictional audio drama podcast, they can work really, really well. Number 3, freebeats.io. Freebeats.io offers access to one of the best royalty-free music libraries out there. All tracks featured on the website can be downloaded and used by content creators for any project. All you have to do is follow them on social media and give them credit. So the second option to you is public domain music. Now this is really interesting, I think. So following the death of the original artist or the composer of a piece of music, so let's say someone really old dude like Beethoven, that music effectively becomes copyright free. It becomes something that's in the public domain. Now there's lots and lots of music that is kind of entering this, maybe music from like the 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. What's really going to be interesting, I think, is like, for example, when music from the 60s and 70s, in a couple, 20 years time, starts entering that public domain realm. What's going to happen there? Because it is a bit of a sticky area. Sometimes there are still companies that claim ownership over certain recorded pieces of music, but quite often, even though the folks that record the music might be dead, there are still people who claim ownership to their estate. So it's really, really tricky, and it's a bit of a grey area. So with public domain music, yes, you can use it technically, but there are cases where something you consider would be public domain music, for example, Happy Birthday, the Happy Birthday song, might not actually be public domain. So that's an interesting little case study. One of the big music licensing bodies, Warner Chappell, decided to try and go after films that were using the song Happy Birthday in them, because they claimed they own the ownership, they own the rights to that song, even though you consider it just to be one of these little hymns. Interesting case anyway. So if you're interested in learning more about public domain music, there are a couple of sites that have got big lists like archives of public domain music. However, my personal advice would be kind of to stay away from it because it can still be a little bit of a grey area.
Public domain music. Number 1, MuseOpen. MuseOpen is a great resource for public domain classical downloads. You can browse for free songs by composer, instrument, period, mood, length, license, and more. And you can even download sheet music if you want to play along. Number 2, freepd.com. Freepd.com is full of public domain songs that can be previewed before downloading, and you get any and all music in MP3 format. Some of the categories here include epic, dramatic, upbeat, positive, horror, electronic, and comedy. Number 3, Open Music Archive. Another public domain music site with free downloads is Open Music Archive. There are tons of tags which you can click through here, including instrumental, 1920s, blues, weird, and country. Every sound is downloadable as an MP3, and you can also stream them through their SoundCloud page.
The third, now this is really what I would suggest the most, which is royalty-free music. Royalty-free or library tracks have been around for years and years and years, and if you're a bit of an audio nerd like me, you go back and listen to like some of the KPN audio libraries. They're all on Spotify, believe it or not, from like the 60s and 70s. Some of that stuff sounds cool as hell. So it's been around traditionally for film and TV use, but more and more recently, you know, because of the uptake in music on things like YouTube videos and in podcasts, there are these kind of new hybrid music royalty-free companies around, which are a lot cheaper and more effective than some of the traditional libraries like KPM that have been around for years and years and years, but do come with kind of quite high licensing fees. So there are different ways that you quite often license royalty-free music. It's not free, you do have to pay for it, despite the name saying it's royalty-free. Royalty-free just basically means you pay once for the use of the music and you're not then paying royalties on a regular basis. But the benefit to this is you're actually paying for the music, so the person producing the music is getting something from it, which also means generally this music is really, really good quality. So it quite often is on a par with commercial music. And quite often indeed there are certain royalty-free tracks that are really engineered to sound very closely to certain types of pop songs, so you can almost like not tell the difference between the two, or it'll feel really familiar, which is kind of what we want. You know, as podcasters, as video producers, content creators, we want to kind of give our audience that sense of familiarity in the background with the music we use, without necessarily playing something that's kind of top 10 currently, or you know, playing some sort of famous hip hop track. But great examples are out there, and here are a few of the royalty-free sites that we use. Some will charge you per track, and some will charge you a subscription where you can access their entire library. So check these ones out; these are really awesome.
Royalty-free licensable music. Number 1, audio. Audio.com, that's with 2 I's, is a great resource to find a huge range of professional grade tracks. And with the Audio Pro subscription license, you're covered for any project from YouTube, monetization to broadcast television. They have also recently released a library of sound effects that comes included in the Pro plan and is updated daily. And we actually use this service to find the music that you're listening to in this video. We use it for lots of our production here at podcast.co, for client work, and also for a lot of my own videos as well. Number 2, Soundstripe. Soundstripe is another great music library that you can use. Head over to their site now to browse their wholly owned library of 6,000 plus royalty-free songs composed by Grammy-winning talent. Number 3, Artist.io. Another great subscription platform is Artist.io, and it comes with a spotlight feature that includes playlists of the best music from each genre available to use in your project. This is a great feature to help you find the best music on the platform quickly, no matter the mood or the style that you're after.
So there we go, 3 different types of music that you can download and use on your podcast, use in your videos or content that you create. Now obviously I am not a legal expert, so please seek relevant guidance or advice if you're unsure before using any music in your productions. So now I'd like to finish with a little bit of a freebie. As you've watched the end, to say thank you, I'd like to send you 2 completely free albums of music that you are welcome to use in any production you like. Doesn't matter if it's TV, internet, feel free to use these in your podcast, on your radio show. The 2 albums are Podcast and Chill, and Keep Calm and Podcast. And I'll put a link to download these in the first comment below, or you can go to jamesm.com/music. Go check them out. So if you've got any questions, or if you have any extra resources of royalty-free or Creative Commons music that you'd like to share, put them in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give me a big thumbs up.